Keoka Jackson is waiting to hear if she's won her share of more than $1 million. And no, she's not playing the lottery. She's waiting to find out which community projects are going to be funded by the City of New York.
I love being a member of my community and felt like this was a way to be more involved and make decisions.
Jackson's not alone. She's one of hundreds in East Harlem trying to determine how their government tax dollars are spent. In this case, $1.5 million.
The projects that I put priority on were things that made people feel safe.
We've asked for the lighting to be upgraded because it's very dangerous at night.
The library needs more laptops.
First introduced in 1989, it's a growing movement, says Selena Sue, a political science professor at Brooklyn College.
Participatory budgeting started in the city of Porto Alegre, Brazil, and since then, it has expanded to over 1,000 cities around the world.
While it's growing globally, Sue says New York is the second city in the United States to try it.
The city of Chicago started it 1 year before New York, and it started with just one alderman, and he turned over his discretionary budget to his constituents, and he was re-elected in virtually a landslide.
I'm the council member,
Melissa Mark Viverito is Jackson's councilwoman. She's one of 4 city council members allocating funds to her constituents. Last year, Mark Viverito received about $5 million in discretionary funds.
It really is a way of civically engaging people, of making democracy work, of giving people a voice and taking ownership for what changes they would like to see happen in their community.
Especially when that trust has been broken. In 2009, Miguel Martinez, former New York City council member, was sentenced to 5 years in prison for pocketing more than $100,000 of discretionary funds.
These are all actually reasonable.
Now Mark Viverito and other council members want to be more transparent and involve the community.
My community is historically a disenfranchised community, and to see people say, you know, I'm not apathetic, it's just that I don't believe government is speaking for me. But when these opportunities are presented, people step up to the plate.
And Jackson did just that.
This was our way of saying that these are our concerns and not someone else speaking for us. So we were able to say, like, this is what we want to see happen.
Jackson, a facilities manager, and more than 65 others spent months working closely with city agencies to figure out exactly what their community needs and how much each project would cost.
The process itself, it was very interesting to be able to speak to the chief of staff of the Parks and Recreation Department, and he shed a lot of light on, you know, what was going on in New York City, what was going on in our community, what projects were already on the table, what funding was already happening.
They came up with 29 proposals, including one dear to Jackson, the renovation of 2 dilapidated basketball courts.
This basketball court is so important because they have a whole community of youth, and it's really nowhere for them to go. This is kind of like a safe haven for them.
So we need people to be involved.
Councilwoman Mark Viverito says residents like Jackson often know what the community needs better than their representatives do.
There might be things that I'm aware of and things that I may not be aware of. So it's always good to get that additional voice and consideration from those that I represent. And this is a mechanism that really allows that firsthand account, experience, and decision making.
Please come in and sign in right here.
Last month, more than 1,000 people from the community turned out to vote on what projects would be funded. And a week later, the big announcement was made. The winners revealed.
And finally, we're going to get money for our public library. Aguilar.
The day ended with a twist. Jackson's project to renovate the basketball court was not a winner, but the city's Parks Department says it's now seeking to fund the renovation of one of the basketball courts. As for Jackson, now more than ever, she's convinced of the value of participating.
This is the process that made me say, I am going to be the voice of this community. I am going to, from this day forward, I am going to make sure that I have a say in what goes on in this community.